Hello and welcome to episode 110 of the Graceful Tangle podcast. I'm Amy Kate. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. I have a few projects to share with you guys this week, and I am really excited to just hop into it. But first, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do that. And then don't forget to hit that notification bell right beside the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. I also have many links in the description box below for you guys to check out. There'll be a link to the show notes for this episode, as well as links to some specific things I'm going to be talking about today. Dishcloth Make-A-Long, pattern shops, and social media platforms. So it's a really good place to just take a look and see if you find something that interests you, or if you want any more details on anything that I'm mentioning today. Of course, today is Sunday, June 19th, I think. Yes, 19th. It is Father's Day, so I hope you all had a wonderful Father's Day weekend, celebrating with your fathers or father figures, or remembering their memory, whatever suits you the most. But little piece of encouragement: remember how much our Heavenly Father loves and adores you so much unconditionally. So I hope and pray that you were reminded of that this past weekend. But yeah, it is a beautiful day here in Alabama, at least so far. Hopefully it will stay that way. And yeah, I have a lot of things to chat about this week. So one thing to note real quick though, I am getting over a cold, unfortunately. So if you hear that in my voice, I apologize. I'm going to try to keep coughing to a minimum or edit it out. But yeah, just apologies in advance for that because it's still not completely back to 100%. But anyways, I don't have any finished objects to share this week, but I do have a couple of works in progress that I have put some time into. So let's go ahead and chat about those for a few minutes. So I'm going to be completely honest. This past week was insane. It was so busy, overwhelming in a lot of ways, and so I have not had a lot of time to make at all. We were on a trip last weekend, and so I was kind of expecting to get some knitting done there. Got like absolutely nothing done. So it's just kind of been an off week in terms of making time wise, which is obviously a little bit of a bummer. But anyways, I do still have a couple of projects to share with you guys. So first up, I have been working a lot on my scrappy blanket. I have made it the goal to kind of finish this as soon as possible, finish it over the summer. I have 3 scrappy blankets in the works right now. I would love to finish this one, obviously, and then I have a cotton granny stripe blanket, and I would like to get that one done as well over the course of this summer. And then I have one more that's like a corner-to-corner style, and it uses bulky weight yarn. And that one I need to take another look at. I'm not even sure if I have enough like bulky scrap yarn to even finish it, so we'll kind of see on that one. But I have pulled this one out, and I have been working on it a little bit here and there, and I love this thing so much. So I'm using the V-stitch. I have gotten a lot of questions about this blanket. If I can, if it's a design, if I'm using somebody else's pattern, if it's my own pattern, etc. I'm not using somebody else's design, but I'm not going to be publishing this pattern as a paid PDF because it's just not super unique. Like, I just kind of picked an arbitrary number to chain. I'm doing the V-stitch. I use a scrap yarn, so it's not even like, I can't even list what yarn to use, really. But what I will do is after I finish this sample, I will get some good pictures of it, and then I will compile it all into one blog post. And I'll kind of tell you like the amount of chains that I chained to begin, the amount of rows that I did, some yarns that I use, yarns I would recommend, etc. But it's just a scrappy blanket. I'm just having fun with it. It's kind of no rhyme or reason type of thing. But yeah, it's going really, really well. It is big. It is so big. It's almost as tall as me, but not quite. Once it gets to that point, I am 5'1", and so I typically like to make blankets 50 inches by 60 inches, and I'm like 61 inches tall, so it works out pretty well in terms of size. So yeah, that is my plan. I'm gonna keep going until it's about 60 inches, and then I will finish it off. I'm thinking about adding a border. And I think I will. I think I'll pick like a solid gray or white or something and do like a few rounds of a border to just kind of finish the whole thing off. But it is going very, very well. This is almost all worsted weight yarn. There's a little bit of bulky here and there, but it's almost all worsted. and I'm using a 7mm hook, and that's giving me a really beautiful drape. You can see that it's super, you know, just like very drapey, very open. It's not super hot, it's not super thick, which is definitely a plus where I live. So yeah, I really, really like it so far. It's very on my list to work on too as well. So anyways, that is the first thing that I have put some work into. And then the second, I obviously totally planned on finishing this very tiny project this week, and it just did not happen. I'm telling you, I have had so little time. But I'm still working on my Mosi cloths. This is a pattern by TL Yarn Crafts, and this row came undone a little bit, so I'm just going to finish it again really quickly. So this is a free pattern by Tony of TL Yarn Crafts. You can find it on her blog, but she also has a YouTube tutorial for this stitch pattern, if that's helpful for you. But yeah, I am doing the dishcloth or washcloth size, and I just love it. I've only put a few rows into it since last week, but I am so excited to have more time to work on this. I am obsessed with the texture. This is smock stitch in Tunisian crochet. And it is just so, so beautiful. And I'm using We Crochet Dishy in the colorway Swan. So it's a really perfect white color. And yeah, it's so much fun to work on. I love it. I'm very excited to turn this into a full set. Again, I just haven't had the time to invest into it this week, unfortunately. But hopefully this coming week allows me more time to create more. But, anyways, I'm still very, very much enjoying every single stitch of this project, and I cannot wait to work on it some more. I'm also, if you're curious, using a size J, I think. Let's see, where is it listed? Yeah, J 6mm crochet hook. So always go up a couple of sizes than you usually would for Tunisian crochet because it tends to be tighter. So I would typically use like a 4.5mm hook for that yarn if I was crocheting a standard dishcloth. With like regular crochet, but obviously that's a J hook, so always good to go up a few sizes for Tunisian. So that is the only two projects that I have that aren't designs, but I am currently hard at work on two designs that I am very excited about, and I have made good progress on both of them this week, one in particular. So yeah, let me share those with you. First up, these socks that you honestly might be tired of seeing right now because I have been working on them for quite a while now. But I am designing these with Eden of Crafting Cricket Maid's yarn. This is her Cherries and Caramel sock set. So here is the main skein. It is this beautiful variegated. And then it also came with a coordinating mini that is on my floor over there because I was using it to knit the first heel. So I don't have that to show, but it's a gorgeous caramel color. I can show it knitted up. So here's what the first heel looks like. I think that's all I did this week. I finished the second one. So I finished the second sock and then I knit the first heel. And then this week at some point I will definitely knit the second heel and then they will be done. I am planning to release this pattern early July. So stay tuned for that because I'm so excited to get it out there. But yeah, I've had so much fun working on these socks. This one is completely done. I do have my sock walkers here to show you what it looks like a little bit better. There we go. So here is what the first one looks like, and I just love it. I love the way the mini looks against the main color. I think it's so pretty. It's got mocked cables running up the foot and front part of the leg, and I just really, really like it. I'm loving how this pattern is turning out. So I'm excited to release it, of course. Again, it'll come out early July, and I will link Eden's shop down in the description box if you want to grab this set for yourself or check out her other sets. She is absolutely amazing and a dear friend of mine. So yeah, definitely check out her shop. And then the second design that I have been working on this week is my blanket. So unfortunately, I think I might be in the middle of a row. Kind of forgot about that. Yep, I am. Okay, well, oh well. You can still see it because it's at least on the right side. So this has grown substantially this week because I have made it my goal to knit at least one repeat a day. And we are currently watching a show that's episodes are 45 minutes. And we typically watch an episode in the evening. And I can do at least one full repeat on this blanket in the span of that time. Like the time span of that show. Can't talk. But it works out perfectly that way. So I have worked on this a little bit almost every day. And I put a marker in. Here it is. Yeah, so I have made this much progress since I last filmed, which is crazy. So definitely making good progress on this project, which feels so, so good. This is the Striker blanket. It uses the same stitch pattern as the Striker socks, which is a pattern that I designed kind of in honor of my brother for his birthday last year. This will be his birthday gift this year. He's turning 16 in July, and I'm going to be giving this blanket to him, and I'm so, so excited about it. So excited. It's going to be amazing. I'm having so, so much fun knitting on it. I'm just really pumped about the design too, because there's like a few little parts of it that just make me really, really happy as a designer that I was able to incorporate them and work it out to a way that it's extremely easy to knit, but you have so much texture going on. So I'm excited about it. It's been very therapeutic to work on it a little bit every day, which is exactly how blankets always get for me. But yeah, it has been amazing. And the yarn that I am using is Knit Picks Brava Tweed in the colorway Stratus. So really, really like this colorway, and Brava Tweed, of course. So I am fully, fully enjoying this yarn. I will say, Knit Picks is having their big summer sale right now. So Dishy, that I mentioned earlier, and Brava is actually on sale. So I will link it down below. I'll link the sale down below. Definitely check it out. See if something that suits you fancy. But yeah, very, very exciting. Very, very exciting time of year for that sale. It's definitely one of the biggest ones of the year, which is really cool. So that is it for all of the making content. I do have a little devotional / life update combined that I would love to chat about for a few minutes, so I hope you'll stick around for that. I will admit it has been a little bit of a struggle to get through filming this episode. I have had like no voice for the past 3 days. This is kind of the first day where it's at least this normal. But yeah, a lot of talking. It has been a very weird cold. Anyway, so kind of to go along right with that, like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, this last week has been intense. It has just been a very, very full week. Very busy with work, which I absolutely adore, but still very busy with it. School has been extremely difficult. I only have 2 classes this semester. It's my last 2 classes. I'll graduate in August, which I'm so pumped about and so extremely ready for. But these classes are extremely difficult, and they are virtual, which just means that it's, so much harder to understand what the professor is trying to do, because you can't talk to them in person. So that's made it difficult for sure. And yeah, it has just been a very full week. I had a cold. I got poison ivy of all things a couple weeks ago when I was doing yard work, and so I've been, trying to get over that. And then I have currently still an allergic reaction to something unknown. So it's just kind of been a very intense week. But honestly, in the midst of all of that, it hasn't been hard to be grateful. And being grateful is something that I have talked about many times before on the podcast, because it is something that I, care so deeply about, because I've worked so hard to get to a place where I practice gratitude above all other things. Before I, complain or stress or feel overwhelmed by a situation, I'm going to be grateful for something first. And so throughout this week, I was kind of asked midweek how my week was going. I was texting with a friend, and he asked how my week was going, and I honestly didn't know what good thing to say. Like, I was trying to run through my brain. I'm like, well, school is hard. I got poisoned. Like, it was just very easy to list off hard things, but I didn't feel, overwhelmed or stressed in that moment. Like, those moments were definitely prevalent this week, but it was so much easier for me to be grateful than it was for me to be overwhelmed or, frustrated at the situations of life currently. So I just want to encourage you to practice being grateful above all of the things. I have talked about the gratitude list that I make daily many, many times on the episode, but I have done it actually today. I was my 800th day of writing a list every single day. So it's literally the simplest thing in the world. I have a notebook. I write down 10 things that I'm grateful for every single morning. Sometimes it is as simple as watching the sunrise or sunset, or something as major of experiencing an answered prayer that I had, prayed so hard for so many weeks or years or whatever is applicable. And I've done that for so long, and it has like finally gotten to the point where it's natural. It's natural to be grateful for something instead of be frustrated in a situation. And I'm so grateful to be in that place. And it wasn't necessarily, easy per se to get there. Because I'm definitely somebody who likes to know what to expect and likes to have those expectations fulfilled. And that's just not how life goes. All in all, it just really isn't. But when you have a mindset that's focused on being grateful no matter the circumstances, it really changes your outlook on life. So I just wanted to kind of encourage you with that this week. I know that, we all have our hard things. We all have trials that we're going through. We all have frustrating situations in our lives, but we also all have something, at least one thing, but honestly many, many, many more things to be grateful for and to thank God for. So I definitely encourage you to do that this week. But yeah, that definitely ties into life update. But like I mentioned, we did go to Gulf Shores this past weekend. We had a annual family reunion with my dad's side of the family. It was a very quick trip. We left on Friday and came back on Sunday. But it was good. We visited the beach briefly on Sunday. We didn't actually stay on the beach. But we did visit it for a little bit on Sunday morning before we headed home. We, on the way down, we stopped at the Bluebell Ice Cream Creamery, which is about an hour away from us. And so we stopped on the way to do that. And it was so good, so much fun. It is the best stop ever. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to go there again. Probably next time we go that direction. But anyway, that was definitely a fun stop, and it was a smooth trip overall, which is really, really nice. It was actually, it was definitely very hot. It was in the 80s, but this past week here was in the 90s all week. This next week is going to be in the hundreds, in the triple digits all week, and so I'm so glad that we went to, further south when we did, when it was just a little bit cooler, because it is going to be quite miserable this upcoming week. So definitely stay cool if you are near me geographically, because it is going to be so hot. Anyways, I hope that you all are having a wonderful week full of as much making as you can possibly fit in, and I will talk to you next time. Until then, happy making. Bye!